It's amazing having SEA here at my university. As a SEA student, attending the Youth Peace Conference helped me gain a lot of leadership skills.
For me, peace means like giving respect to all race and culture.
Peace means no war, no fighting, getting along well.
Peace to me means that you need to change, and the change begins with you. I can truly say that with the support of everyone and just wanting to have people that are willing to partner up with you and wanting to make a change, it's possible.
And we're all coming from different sites, but I want you to see yourselves as a family today. We're all from SEA. I want you to meet people from other schools. You guys have such amazing stories. You're amazing people. I know so many of you, and I want you to know each other.
And I looked at the headline, and I reacted the way I think most people do the first time they hear about the existence of human trafficking and modern-day slavery. And I said, well, wait a minute. Slavery ended with the work of Frederick Douglass and the abolitionists and Lincoln's signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. But as I started to research the issue and read the article, I found that there were millions of people around the world still living in slavery, many living in conditions as horrific as the slavery that we've been talking about this afternoon. I have two daughters, teenage daughters, but at the time they were 12 and 9 years old. And I was reading this National Geographic article, and I started to do some research on my own. And I found that the average age that a young girl is forced into prostitution in the United States is 13 years old. I also found that there were girls in the brothels of Southeast Asia who were my daughter's ages, 12 and 9, and even younger, that were forced to be sex slaves and to service 35, 40 men a day and night. And I'm sitting in my living room at night, and down the hall I could hear my girls laughing and getting ready for bed. And they're about to say their prayers, and they're about to get tucked safely into bed. And I'm having this hard time. I'm going back from reading about these young girls, and I'm listening to my girls, and I'm thinking, that's what young girls should be doing. They should be getting tucked safely into their bed. And when I put down the magazine, I walked into their room to say goodnight, and I had this moment where I found that I couldn't look them in the eyes. I couldn't look them in the eyes and not do something about this. And it was at that moment that I understood that I had this platform that my ancestors had built through struggle and through sacrifice. And I knew I could stand up on that platform and do something to affect change around this issue. We are very excited to be working with SEA on this very important project. We have more than 150 schools that have signed up already around the country. So we want to make sure that we have tens of thousands of young people, just like you guys, advocating around federal bills that would help affect change on this issue and many other projects. Because when you guys speak as one voice, people listen to you before they'll listen to me. It's important for students to really be active around these types of social issues.
Kenneth said that we were the next generation, and that meant something to me because it's the truth, and it's, in reality, it's an eye-opener for us that we really do need to do something, not for only us, but for our community and for our next generation.
Partnering up with him and just having him come and give us that hope that we can have people like him, that there is people like him in this world, and around in our rooms where the students are at from SEA, they're those leaders that will make a difference in this world.
I was walking behind my dad. We were getting ready to go to our bedroom. And my dad was walking in front of me. I was walking behind him. I said, Papi, soy mijo. I said, I know what I want to be when I grow up. Así que I want to be an astronaut. No, casi se atropieza. He stops dead on his tracks. He turns around and looks at me and says, you want to be what? My eyes got this big because I thought he was getting mad. He said, I want to be an astronaut. He looked at me and said, Mijo, vamos a la cocina. Let's go to the kitchen. My eyes got even bigger. Because you don't understand, in my kitchen, only 3 things happen. We do our homework. My mom makes us do our homework every day right after school there. We eat dinner allí. And that is where punishment is administered. My homework was done. Dinner was over with. So I figured, man, I must have said something real bad. So I put on my best fear of God face on, walking in there. He listens to me, and I figured he's probably gonna say, son, you're reaching too high, settle for something less, or something that would be common sense. But he actually said the opposite. He looked at me, and he must have saw the determination of a 10-year-old boy staring at him. He looked at me and he says, I think you can do it. Yo pienso que sí lo puedes lograr. He said, but if you want to do it, you have to follow a simple 5-ingredient recipe. And I said, what are they, papi? He said, primero, he says, decide what you want to do in life. He said, ¿qué es lo que quiere ser Pepe cuando sea grande? What is it that you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be an astronaut. Figure I got 1 out of 5, I'm almost there. Second, he says, recognize how far you are from the goal. Me quedé pensando, I stopped thinking, and I said, with all due respect, Pops, I said, I can't be any farther. Son of a migrant farm worker, you can't get any farther than that. Instead of him giving me un coscorrón, getting mad at me, he kind of chuckled and says, I'm glad you recognize that, son. Because the third ingredient is you got to draw yourself a roadmap. A roadmap from where you know where you're at, and obviously by your smart comments you do, to where you want to go. It's the forefront, you're doing it already, mijo. Stay in school. Get yourself an education. There's no substitute for an education. Sin educación no hay nada. There's nothing without an education. That's the key to a better life. Is prepare yourself. Go to college. He said, fifth and final, equally as important, he said, you know that effort you put out in the fields on Saturdays and Sundays and 7 days a week during the summer vacation? I said, sí, Papa. He pointed to my books. He said, that effort, you put it here. And when you graduate, you put it in your job. He said, always, always give more than what people expect of you. Whether a doctor, an astronaut, a policeman, a lawyer, whatever it is, you follow that recipe, and I'm here to tell you, just like my father told me, I'll guarantee you'll be able to reach it.
We read your story.
The book?
Yeah, we read the book in our
Reaching
school.
for the stars?
Knowing that a Hispanic like myself has gone to the NASA and brings like a pride
makes it real and says, hey, anyone can do it, man.
These are the people that made this happen.
All of this is possible with you because of you guys. So give yourself a hand.
After being to fork of the conferences of the youth peace movement, it just gets better and better, and it's just able for us to see how much growth we can make, and so many people and world leaders that are really making a difference, that are inspiring us to continue to do the work that we do.
Youth Peace Movement!